what would happen if a light roll unit deployed somewhere and we just hired a load of vehicles and rolled around wherever we needed to be.
2 rifles have been challenged. Their physical and mental robustness is being tested. We join them in Kenya as they come into a new experimentation phase of their exercise. A fortnight of specialised soldiering, experimenting with new tactics and mounted drills in civilian vehicles, culminating in a company-level dawn raid. And with a little help from the RAF, we will be following them every step of the way. Our journey begins a stone's throw away from the equator, at the feet of Mount Kenya. Meet Dom. He's going to be our guide on the ground.
So we're going to a place called SERE. So it's basically our main training camp on the training area to the north. It's basically in the middle of a wildlife park. It's not bad. It's got a field kitchen and everything, so it's a good little camp. Tons. So if you don't see a giraffe, an elephant, a leopard, or a zebra whilst we're on our way up there, I'll buy you a Tesco when we get that.
A leopard.
I've seen a leopard.
Yeah, I've seen one leopard since I've been over there. Yeah, so I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah, note the word I said, or. Okay, yeah.
Okay,
elephant,
right.
zebra, giraffe, or.
I slipped that.
Luckily for Dom, he would be keeping his wallet in his pocket. As promised, the drive to SERE was pretty wild. The safari industry is big business in Kenya, and conservation efforts have seen the elephant population here double in 30 years. The training area lies deep in the bush, 200 kilometres north of Nairobi. It's been a rite of passage for British infantrymen for over 40 years.
Welcome to Operating Base SERE.
Can you tell us a little bit about where we are?
So we're in Kenya. We've been here for about 2.5 months as part of both Exercise Askari Storm and then a persistent engagement phase that's followed on from that. As part of the persistent engagement, the plan for future iterations of this exercise will either at the start or the end do something different. And so we've filled that gap with a bunch of different activities between finishing the exercise on the 8th of November and now. And the primary one that we're here now doing is the experimentation. So we've got a couple of masters on this. Land Warfare Centre and our brigade headquarters have given us question sets of how is it to operate dispersed, which is something that we're trying to do to maximise survivability, and what would happen if a light roll unit deployed somewhere and we just hired a load of vehicles and rolled around wherever we needed to be.
For riflemen used to walking everywhere, some wheels and an aux cable probably makes a nice change.
Off the back of the experimentation phase of Askari Storm, it's our chance to act and behave differently. How best do we use a civilian 4x4 in a combat environment, and what's worked before, what hasn't worked before, and what we can try based off suggestions from the team.
Behind me here is some of the guys from A Company, and the exercise is that they're going to be driving along, they're going to come under contact. The front passenger and driver are going to dismount, they're going to put some rounds down range. The 2 rear passengers at that stage will also dismount. They take cover behind the vehicle, put some more cover and fire down. They're going to deploy some smoke and extract out of here as quick as possible.
So the main drills that we're focusing on today are contact drills. So basically the guys reacting to enemy fire within a vehicle. 9 times out of 10 we are light infantry, and contact drills for us is finding some cover and getting amongst the fight, whereas in a vehicle it's a bit more cumbersome, wearing helmet, body armour, potentially day sacks and webbing inside a nice 4x4 isn't as comfy as it could be. So to that end, it's just working out how best we can work in a completely different environment and how we can take the skills and drills we've learned on our feet and transfer them to the vehicle.
In! Yeah, good to go.
After the training, I got to chat to 2 riflemen about how they were finding being in a vehicle for a change.
Talk to you.
Yeah.
Was I looking at him, was I?
Yeah.
Roger.
So just pretend it's to us. So just one more
Roger.
time. So yeah, introduce yourself.
Go on. Go again, you got me. Right, start again. Right, stop laughing. Serious now, I'm trying to get famous here, you ready?
You ready?
Yeah.
You set? What's your name?
My name's Riflemen. I'm part of 2 rifles. Been out in Kenya since the 20th of September. Loving it so far, yeah. Brilliant.
Stuff, man. What about yourself?
I'm Lance Corporal Bowden, been out here at the same time as Riflemen, and I'm 4.5 years now in battalion.
You said you've enjoyed it, but what have been kind of the stuff you've been getting up to?
Well, this is my first time doing an overseas exercise, so it's been a good experience. I mean, it's been challenging at times, to be fair, like with the heat and the environment, such as animals. You've got different terrains to cross. It's been brilliant, to be fair. I've enjoyed every minute of it.
And no elephants in Liverpool then?
No elephants in Liverpool, no. It's just horrible birds. Yeah.
And so let's talk a bit about today. What have you guys been up to here? What kind of drills have you been going over?
So we've been learning how to fight from vehicles, learning how to dismount with casualties, contact drills, and just having a bit of fun with the vehicles, really.
It's a different challenge because obviously we're being like rolling 2 rifles. We're not used to having vehicles. We're on foot for most of our exercises. So this is, as you say, experimental. So it's something completely different to what we're used to. And so far, it's actually been, this is the first day out here, but so far it's been good. So it's making sure that you fit correctly in and out of vehicles. So as you say, it is an experiment, but it's a bit of a challenge, to be fair. It's not easy, as you'd expect, but it's good fun.
Good stuff, man. And what about the new A3? How's that been getting hands on? Is that your first time with it out here in Kenya?
Yeah, first time 2 rifles has got it. It's not been just the same as the A2, really. Just obviously different handguard. That's just
I think
really
the shots are a lot cleaner on it as well.
Yeah, the shots are a lot cleaner.
Yeah. It's a lot cleaner of a rifle, smarter as well.
The next day, it was time to see the skills the troops had been learning put into practice, this time coming up against the Kenyan Special Forces.
Yeah, so today, 7th Platoon have been tasked with essentially clearing a stretch of road from south to north and basically reacting to any enemy forces that could be present on that road. We're pretty much expecting to get ambushed by the enemy, and it's going to be how we react to that. So because we're currently on this experimentation phase at the moment, we've gone through kind of different SOPs and we're going to experiment to see which works best, really.
Cool, 7th Platoon mission then. Clear. 7th Platoon has clear route sword from the line departure to the LOE. Nice and simple. 7th Platoon mission, clear route sword from line of departure to the LOE. Then I'll show you where the LOE and the line departure is in a second. Rules of engagement then, card alpha, okay. When we're leaving this location, okay, everybody is to be loaded and made ready, all right? So after this, on the call land, we'll get you loaded and made ready, all right? Cool, right, route out then.
Both sides are using TES systems on their weapons and bodies, meaning accurate shots will register electronically. It's basically Laser Quest, but in Africa. We leave SERE and convoy to Route Sword. It's hot, it's dusty, and we know the KSF are nearby. They could ambush at any time. After coming under fire, 7 Platoon regroup. The instinct of an infantryman is to dismount and continue this fight on foot. A group begins circling back on the enemy's last known position, while the others take up defensive positions in the vehicles.
Contact front left-hand man.
At the front.
Yeah, keep eyes on.
Please let me know when you're moving. Budo, let me know when you're level. Try and push left a bit. You can't push any more right. Pair 1 down. Pair 2 move. Pair 2 down. Pair 2 move. Peel right! Moving right to left. Enemy! Right hand side!
I find myself in between the advancing 2 rifles and a KSF operator. These guys are involved in the crunchiest of deployments across East Africa, including operations against Al-Shabaab in Somalia. Training alongside the British will help prepare them for the worst. As ammunition begins to run dry, it's clearly time to GTFO.
Jesus Christ. So the boys are pretty low on ammo, they've decided to withdraw. Like I said before, a couple of casualties on both sides by the looks of things. But that was pretty punchy.
Right, move in.
So the fitness of 2 rifles is really beginning to show now. I'm absolutely pagged. There's still a couple of kilometres to go to get back to the extraction point.
We extracted and made our way back to SERE. We had a dawn raid to prepare for. Two RAF Puma crews were conducting training nearby, and we managed to get ourselves on board. They said they had a little surprise for us. Surprise. touch back down at SERE just in time for orders.
CO2 rifles' intent is to repel Amarian aggression across the international border. We'll do this by means of a company strength raid. We'll clear enemy and then return control of local security to the Zeewin Defence Forces. We'll leave SERE. The first call sign to leave will be the call sign 11 Recce. They'll leave at 0300, recce their route, insurgent to the Wadi, and establish both FUP and line of departure for 1 platoon's assault. 0600 will be H hour, 3 platoon, you'll be mounted, good to go, and you'll launch down to the FRV location at 0600. That's when we'll go noisy, 1 platoon assault onto the break in the fence line. If that's not there, find a way. Get yourselves broken into the position, and your initial priority will then be securing the hostages in Alpha 1.
The planning goes on well into the night.
Good morning. It's just coming up to 0500. H hours at 0600. I'm just about to catch up with Alex, the platoon commander of 1 platoon, and see how they're getting on with their preparations. Almost ready to go.
Morning, gents, you alright?
What's up?
How's it going? You all set? The lights of the camp begin to fade, and before long, it's pitch black. The cameras are struggling. But as dawn begins to break, night vision becomes redundant.
We've been sat waiting in this wadi for about half an hour now. The camp that they're assaulting is about half a kilometre behind me. And we're just waiting for a bit of light to get this show on the road.
It's H hour.
We need a little fight, man.
Yeah.
Just fall back. Right, one time, enemy, 4 back, rate of 10. Right, Fuller, push up that vehicle in front. Right, we're going straight into this 10. We're going, fuck, enemy here. Looking for left our 10. Right, we're going into this fucking 10, would ya?
Lambert, stay in the ISO container, stay down.
Get him on the radio. What? Got more boys coming in from that side.
We'd seen some impressive soldiering, but in part 2 of this video, we get to see what happens when it all goes wrong. Subscribe and get ready to get captured.